I want to show you how to solve a very difficult problem that many people deal with when they're trying to sell something. It doesn't matter if it's a product or a service. And that problem is price. I'm sure you can remember the last time you tried to sell something to somebody. What was the first thing they told you? How much is it? After you introduce the product or the service, the first thing, I don't know about what country you are in. In fact, I want to hear from you in the comments. But in Nigeria, the very first question you're likely going to get, even before they give you a chance to explain what you're trying to sell, is how much is it? How much? The problem with how much is it is that it is a very dangerous, brutal, and unfair question. And here's why. Price is something that summarizes you, like it just puts you in a container. Even before you get the chance to explain the unique benefits, the unique solutions that your product or service can deliver. The moment somebody hears the price, they jump right to the end. So price is a shortcut for two reasons. The first reason somebody wants to hear your price is that they want to compare you to something else or somebody else. So if you sell a product that other people sell, the reason they're asking you for the price is that they want to quickly compare you to other people who sell it to know where you rank. Right? That is one thing they want to do. They want to quickly compare you and know whether they should continue the conversation with you or if there's any sense in continuing the conversation with you. The second reason people want to quickly jump to the price is that they want to judge you and box you in a corner. Here's what I mean. By judging you, they want to quickly get to the conclusion in their minds whether you are cheap or expensive. Whether you are too cheap or too expensive. They want to put you in a box. And the moment they put you in a box, every other thing you are saying, as they say, is just talk. They don't want to listen to what you're saying. Why? They already have the price. They already know the price. And for many consumers, for many potential buyers, knowing the price tells them a lot of things. So they don't need to keep listening to you about the value you provide and other things that you offer, how you are different from the competition. So essentially, it is not in your favor to give price information too early in the conversation. If you give it too early in the conversation, you're going to lock people out. Because the moment they know the price, why should they keep listening to you? They can already make all the judgments. They can already infer everything they need to know. So there's no point listening to you. So it is unfair to you and your business to give out price information too early. The best time to give out the price information is when the customer has understood the value that you bring to the table, how you are different from others, and what is unique about what you sell. But this is easy to say in theory. In practice, are you telling me you're actually going to be in a conversation with a client and the client will ask you how much is it and you say either keep quiet or I'm going to tell you? The moment you say I'm going to tell you or something, in their mind they already feel like, oh, this one is not even telling me the price. Who knows? Maybe this thing is outrageously expensive. They disconnect and they go into that mental spiral of thinking, oh, he's hiding the price away from me. So there must be something. He must be hiding something. So they're not paying attention. So how exactly do you make it possible that you give yourself the time that you deserve to explain what you actually have to offer, to explain the benefits and the value in what you offer before you can then give the price information? Because for any sale to succeed, the best thing to compare your price against is the value you offer. The value you offer should be the best comparison, not your competitor, not how much they bought it last week or how last month or last year. The best thing to compare your price against is the value that you provide. So how do you control that conversation so that you're given the chance to explain the value you're bringing to the table before you mention the price, and then they can make that comparison? A couple of years ago, a client came to me with this challenge, and he's in a business that is very common. He sells cars, right? So he was complaining, when we had our first strategy session, and he was like, the challenge I have is people come, they price my cars, they ask me the price, they tell me they will get back to me. I'm sure you heard that before. I'll get back to you. After they ask you for your price and you tell them the price, and then they will tell you, I'll get back to you. So he was complaining that they will tell him, I'll get back to you, but people don't really get back to him, that it's a very competitive market. People bring in cars from all sorts of channels. So you really may not be able to compete because you don't know the cost base that your competitors are dealing with. How can I change this? Now, for the conventional person, this looks like a problem that is boxed in a corner because he's selling a product that is widely available. He sells cars, most of them are second-hand cars that are imported from Europe, America, Canada, right? He doesn't manufacture the cars, so how is he going to influence the price? So I need you to pay attention to this solution I gave him, because the principle behind the solution could hold the key to changing how you sell anything in your business. So this is the solution we eventually worked out. When people call him on the phone and they ask him, I want to buy a Toyota Camry 2015 model, how much is it? That's a straightforward question and is a closed question. You can only give that customer one answer. So after our session, after the consulting service, his answer to those questions, after the customer asks, I want to buy a Toyota Camry 2015 model, how much is it? His response is, it depends on which option you want. Now, this is a very interesting answer, because there's only one kind of Toyota Camry 2015. There might be different colors and different specs, but the product is quite specific. And then he tells them it depends on the option you want. And then now the customer wants to listen. What do you mean by options? And then he tells them, I have 3 options. The first option is an outright sale. If you want to buy the car and pay everything, it's an outright sale. That is 10 million. Now I'm talking in Naira terms, Nigerian Naira. That's 10 million. That's option 1. Option 2 is a finance sale. For the second option, you only pay 2 million Naira. And then you can pay 1.5 million Naira every month for the next 6 months. So you can imagine that for somebody who has a tight budget, or for somebody who is an employee, or somebody who gets like a regular income, that's an appealing option. Because rather than pay 10 million right now, I can actually pay 2 million and drive out of his car lot with a car. No other competitor will allow you just pay 2 million. Because most people are competing around 10 million, 10.5, 9.5. But option number 2 has crashed the price. You pay 2 million, of course, after all the paperwork and all the risk management. And then every month for the next 6 months, you pay me 1.5 million. And what I got to find out in the follow-up period after the consulting was a lot of people were drawn to the second option, particularly office workers, people who earn a salary, people who had like limited savings. They didn't have all the 10 million or the 11 million, but they could pay 2 million and drive out, right? You would think option 2, the finance sale, is like the best thing, right? But wait until you hear option 3, because there's an option 3, right? Option 3 is you pay me 350,000 Naira every month. You get the Toyota Camry 2015 with a chauffeur, with a driver, right? So for 350,000 Naira every month now this is not a product. I'm not selling you the car as a product. I'm selling you the car as a service that comes with a driver, that comes with a chauffeur. You pay me 350,000 Naira every month. The seller is responsible for paying the driver and will be responsible for maintenance and repairs. You, the customer, all you do is just buy fuel and sit in the back of the car as the boss. So this now presents a very interesting choice for the potential customer. The customer thought they were just going to hear a price. And then the moment you tell them the price, they start comparing you to all the other car sellers that they have called. But now you've given them options. I don't have a price. It depends on the option you want. And I've given you 3 options. Option number 1 will cost you 10 million today, outright sale. Option number 2, you pay down 2 million and spread the rest over the next 6 months. It's more expensive, but people take it because it's more convenient, it's more flexible. Option number 3 is mind-blowing, particularly for those people who are buying the car for emotional needs. You're not just buying a car. You're buying a status. You're coming with a driver who dresses like a pilot. And then you don't have to worry about car maintenance, car repairs, insurance, all those things. That is the seller's problem. All you do is pay your subscription of 350,000 Naira every month and you live like a boss, essentially, in terms of the car ownership. So what this does is, I help this guy move from a situation of having a price challenge. He thought that the best way, he came to me with the intention that, how can I cut down the price so that I don't lose my profits? Or what should I do about the pricing? It's not a pricing issue. You push it back to the customer because the customer is asking for the price for a particular reason. They want to compare you to somebody else. So what you do is you put the customer on the spot and say, it depends on the option you want. And then you get the chance, you finally get the audience to explain your options. Tell them the pros and the cons of each option. And now it is in the hand of the customer to then decide. That's the first advantage. The second advantage is there's nobody to compare you to. Most of your competitors are not doing this. Either they are too afraid, or they think it's too risky, or they don't have the time to manage this, or they believe they are in the product selling thing. They don't want to get into service management. So all of a sudden, you're in a class of your own, and then you can create your own environment and dictate your own price, because I can't compare you to anybody. That's the first option. Create options that then push the choice back to the customer to say, I don't have one price. It depends on what you want, because there are several options, right? So that's the first one. Introduce options. The second option is you ask me how much I sell for, and I get back to you with what is your budget, right? So you're asking me for the price so that you can compare me with other people, or you can make a snap judgment about whether I'm cheap or too expensive. But then now I push it back to you. What is your budget? Let me know what your budget is, and we can work within your budget and create something that meets your needs at your budget. So it is not just more considerate, but you're putting the customer first, because I'm not going to give you a price I have set. I'm asking you to tell me what your budget is, and then we can live within that budget. This is quite common with service businesses. So whether you provide consulting, whether it's legal services, accounting services, all sorts of things where you are not really buying a product that you resell, which means that your costs are fixed. If you are selling your intellectual resources, this is quite common. You ask the customer, what is your budget? And then we can see if we can fit within that budget. Sometimes the budget is too low. What you tell the customer is, the least we can do this for. You see what's going on now? The least we can do this for is this price. Unfortunately, you don't even meet that minimum. Let's keep in touch. Whenever you're able to afford this minimum, we will see what you can do for you. Or sometimes the customer will ask you, is that the only one you have? You say, no, that's actually our minimum. We do this between this price up until this price. So what you're doing is you're drawing the customer into a conversation that favors you. So this is essentially how it's done. I've given you the example of a client. Let me give you an example of how I do it in my online or business using an existing product. If you're watching this in August, I've just launched my BMG, the Business Mentorship Group. It's an exclusive group for people who are about to start a business, are running a business, or have been running a business for some time and want to grow their business. In the mentorship group, we're dealing with a wide range of issues, from how you raise capital, how you get more customers, retain those customers, how you optimize and maximize profits, how you better manage costs, how you attract and retain quality and capable people that will help you grow your business, and how you can improve the general performance of your business, including those people who have businesses that are too reliant on them, so that you can systematize your business such that your business can live and thrive even when you're not available. So that is what the package is. That is what I'm inviting people to join, the Business Mentorship Group, right? One of the first questions you get, particularly if you're going to sell to Nigerians or any African for that matter, one of the first questions is, how much is it? Now, many people who ask how much is it have not taken the time to understand what the benefits will be. They are not asking you how much it is to compare the benefits to the price, because they've not given you the audience for you to explain what the benefits and the value will be. They just want to hear the price so that they can make a snap judgment and put you in a box and just, more or less, they'll just make their snap judgment and compare. So, but that other person is selling for this price. How can you compare me to somebody else when you don't even know what I'm offering and what makes this unique? So in the BMG, I don't set any price. You tell me how much you're willing to pay. I've told you what I'm going to offer. And the first thing I must mention is, there's no point giving a price, because not everybody can join the BMG. You have to answer a couple of questions that helps me know that you are the right potential candidate for the BMG before you're even qualified. So what am I giving you a price for? You are not a qualified prospect. You need to go through the qualification process, the assessment. It's when you've gone through the qualification process, that's when you are deserving of the price. But ordinarily, you cannot release price information for somebody who is not qualified. So you want to know the price, go and take the assessment. It is during the assessment you then get to know the price. The second step is, I'm not setting any price. How much are you willing to pay? So all I'm doing is, based on the top two most popular choices for price, I'll take the average. And that's what people in the BMG are going to pay. And the reason these are just examples. But what I'm encouraging you to do is, you need to look for ways to buy time to explain your value. You need to look for ways to make sure that the person knows the value and the benefits of what you're selling before you give away price information. If you give away the price too early, people are going to judge you unfairly. They're going to put you in a box that you may not belong to. They are going to compare you to competitors that you may be better than, or maybe you are not even doing the same thing as that competitor. Because you call yourself consultant and another person calls themselves consultant, it doesn't mean the two of you are offering the same thing. But guess what? You know that because you're an industry person. The average person on the street just thinks that this consultant and this consultant are doing the same thing. Meanwhile, they are doing different things. So it is unfair to you to give away your pricing information too early. Like I said, people are going to judge you. They are going to put you in a box that you really don't belong, and they are going to be comparing you to other people. It might be a case of comparing apples and oranges or apples and grapes and things like that. So I've given you an example of a real life client. I've also told you how I'm doing it in my line of business so that you can avoid that upfront question of how much is it. And the moment you give that information, people lock you in a box. So these are two examples that I've given you. If you are in business and you're looking for strategies like this, some of which I'm full of unconventional strategies. There are a lot of them. In this series so far, I've shared a couple of strategies. I've talked about the scarcity strategy. I've talked about the logic versus emotional value strategy. I've talked about the Misuya strategy. There are a couple of other strategies. It's also the same way I deal with raising capital for business. It's also the same way I deal with startup strategy. You want to start a business, you have a couple of ideas, you don't know which one to launch, or you have a business partner, you're thinking of how you're going to share equity, or you're trying to make sales. Sales are dropping, the economy is tough and stuff like that. How do you reposition and re-strategize so that what you sell can become more appealing? Or you make sales, but they are one-time sales. You find out that you're not retaining customers. People buy from you one time and then they leave. How do you develop a retention strategy that works? All the way to how do you grow your business? How do you expand? How do you get strategic partnerships that will take you to the next level? These are all the things I help people sort out in the BMG, in the Business Mentorship Group. The link to join the BMG should be on your screen right now, or it should be somewhere in the comments below or above this video. If you are somebody who is serious about cracking the challenges and the problems in your business, I can help you do that. If you've not been following me before, if this is your first time of seeing me, my name is John Paul Iwuoha. I'm a business strategy specialist. What it means to the man on the street is that I solve tough business problems. I make it easier and faster to start, build, and grow a business. I've been doing this for more than a decade. I used to be I used to be a consultant in PwC. Besides that, I'm a LinkedIn top voice. I've helped several entrepreneurs across the African continent in different countries, from the Gambia to Ethiopia, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, right? So even people who are in the diaspora that are trying to start something here, these are the people that I help to realize the potential in their businesses. And if you've already joined the BMG, if you're in the waiting group of the BMG, please holler in the comment section so I can holler you back, right? If you're in the waiting room of the BMG goes live on the 31st of August, 2024. And I'm looking forward to having you in there. Like I said, I can't work with everybody. So that means I only have to work with the best. And I'm hoping that you are one of those people that I can help add value to their business and help take it to the very next level. So this video has been about price and how you can avoid giving out that information upfront, because it is not fair to you. Thank you.